daughter and a grandson were killed about a month ago, and stand up and they rise from the ashes, and that is what the Palestinians are like as a people. Our next speaker is someone very special. It is Dr. Tala Hijazi. Dr. Tala is from Gaza originally. She's a pediatric doctor, a children's doctor working in London. And she has family stuck in Gaza, so it's extremely brave of her to come and speak to you in front of the TalkTV studios. Thank you, Tala.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. I stand before you as a Muslim, Palestinian female doctor, as someone whose parents have invested their whole lives in their daughter's education and career. Gaza has one of the highest rates of literacy within a very small area of land, both women and men. I come from a family where my grandmother was an English teacher, fully supported by my grandfather, may Allah have mercy on him, who stood with her throughout her education and career. A family where my sister, mother, female cousins and aunts were all educated to the highest of degrees between psychology, literature, chemistry, medicine, dentistry, commerce, and the list goes on. Where the idea of an educational degree below a bachelor's is unthinkable. Where we are the pride of our brothers, fathers, grandfathers, and uncles. Women of Gaza are raised to be strong, autonomous, and outspoken, because that has always been our only option, whether within the walls of an open-air prison or as refugees. I grew up with an older brother who was adamant I learned self-defense, and another older brother who's always encouraging me to speak my mind regardless of my fear of losing people if I do. We are also raised to be loved, protected, taken care of, honored, and valued by our men. There is no room for fickle, shallow men or women in our culture. When the so-called journalist, Julia Hartley-Brewer, had the ignorant audacity to shout at Dr. Barghouti, a refined, dignified, respectful and respectable MP and Palestinian man, saying, maybe you're not used to him in talking, I immediately thought to myself, it is you who has never heard a Palestinian woman speak. It has become exhausting that in this day and age, we need to say what we're saying today. It's become exhausting to have to challenge a poisoned, racist, Islamophobic ideology propagated by people who know nothing about our values when we're expected to learn and adapt everything about theirs. The ridiculous hypocrisy of Julia and her likes, using your so-called feminist ideology in that way, when women in Gaza are being killed every day.
Okay, Julia Hartley-Brewer insulted Dr. Mustafa Barghouti and used Islamophobic and racist tropes and insults. This is when she was presented with the truth. She resorted to a behaviour of a child, worse than a child. To say that's a behaviour of a child is mean to children. She's not four. This isn't the first time she's done this. She said there's MP Chris Williamson. He was presenting her with facts as well. This is a couple of weeks ago, about a month into the genocide. He was saying how the genocide needs to stop, there needs to be a ceasefire, and she said that he hated Jews as a result of this, which is a smear, to say the least. And she said he was funded by Iran because of the work he did with Press TV. Now, I'd quite like to know where her 10 million fortune comes from, to be honest with you, but I'm sure that other people will be willing to investigate that. Another thing she did, which disgusted me, was she weaponised autism with Greta Thunberg, which is absolutely... I'm a father of a severely autistic, non-verbal 20-year-old young man. And when I heard that, I complained. But this is someone who, I don't know whether it's anger or or she just has terrible interpersonal skills, but whatever is going on, she should not have a platform. She harps on about decency. She has none, evidently. Nor humanity, nor impartiality, which is important. But she definitely is the definition of unprofessionalism. Julia Hartley-Brewer isn't the only presenter here that's an issue. It seems to be a TalkTV-wide problem. It seems to be a News Corp international problem. Douglas Murray, for example, and Piers Morgan, all of whom have connections to or are funded by Israel, the IDF, or Israeli politicians. And the best place to see the facts and figures of this are Double Down News, and watch a film called Loki, exposes Piers Morgan and Ben Shapiro, and it also includes Douglas Murray as well, who also has the manners of a spoiled child. So all of these presenters employ the same tactics when presented with the truth. They become rude, arrogant, they belittle, mock and ridicule in a frankly disgusting, and I keep saying childlike, but it's worse than child, in a narcissistic manner. I've never seen the likes of it in the UK. I have experienced firsthand on the other Murdoch-owned news corp channel, GB News. I was invited on to talk about the armistice, marching in the armistice. And when I mentioned about Rishi Sunak's genocidal conflict of interest with emphasis, I was not however, I was told I have 3 minutes, about 8 minutes, and I put that down to me being white English, and they didn't expect me to be a pro-Palestine. It's called white privilege, it's a fact. These organisations, they lead us to believe that they are giving people, Muslims, pro-Palestinians, anti-war, a platform. They are not. It is a setup to corner and bring down guests who wish to speak the truth and should be avoided at all costs and boycotted accordingly. The truth is this: Israel has lost the battle of hearts and minds. The veil of respectability has fallen and fallen spectacularly. Mainstream media cannot be trusted to report the truth. We rely on the accounts of and images sent hourly by the brave journalists in Gaza, who themselves have been targeted and murdered on a daily basis by Israel. The only reliable mainstream voice has been silenced, and that was Mehdi Hassan, and hopefully he will get a decent platform to be able to spread the truth again. We must support alternatives such as Al Jazeera, Middle East Eye, Eye on Palestine, and even Owen Jones has been sacked by The Guardian. These are commentators who speak the truth, and these are who we should be listening to. Surely if Ofcom have teeth, they can take action against broadcasters who repeatedly push fake and damaging narratives, such as beheaded babies, which Julia Hartley-Brewer did with MP Chris Williams. I'll finish on this. Like Rishi Sunak's genocidal conflict of interest with emphasis, look it up, it's there, and Keir Starmer's with the funding from the Friends of Israel, TalkTV, GB News and other outlets and broadcasters funded by Israel should be held accountable for their own genocidal conflict of interest. Shut down TV news. Shut down these platforms. Free Palestine, ceasefire now. Thank you very much.
So I'm Dr. Omar Abdelmanen. I'm a paediatric neurologist based in London, co-founder of Health Workers Palestine. We're here today standing with the JRN, the Just Reporting Network, as combined health workers and journalists, in solidarity, standing for Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, who was attacked and vilified on TalkTV. We're outside their studios by the presenter Julia and many of her peers who have been providing the news with hateful, racist, xenophobic coverage of the Palestinian issue and the warring and the escalations in Gaza. So we are here showing our support and solidarity with our colleagues inside Gaza, the journalists, the doctors, and also our colleagues who have been attacked by the media, including myself and Dr. Mustafa Barghouti.